If not now, when? When do a lot of people do it? When they have a heart attack, when their spouse leaves them, when their kids grow up. So why wait till that happens? You know, why not enjoy if it's your newborn not too long ago, it's like, oh, this is precious.
Yeah.
And it's not do all of that, but if it's like, okay, for an hour a day or vacation once a month, whatever it might be, and to be present. And so if your wife knows you love her, then she's going to support you as you're off doing crazy things rather than I often avoided, I got to take care of this. That way I can afford to take care of my family. And they're like, we just want you. Like I wanted to go buy this amazing house right as the recession was happening. And my realtor, who's a good friend, I'm like, what can I, how much of a house can I buy? He goes, I can get you any house you want.
Yeah.
What can you afford? I'm like, damn it. And so I was like, I wanted to buy you this house. She's like, why? I'm like, well, and that was my imposter syndrome saying, okay, now I'm proving my worth to her. And she's like, why do you want it? I'm like, well, then we can host holidays. She's like, we can host holidays now. So what did we do? We have a 1,300 square foot house, which 15 years ago we decided to stay in. We're still in that house and we love it.
Yeah.
And we'll have 11 people sleep over on Christmas Eve. It's all more fun than if everyone had their own wing.
Right.
And so here I was trying to do something to impress her and prove my worth. And at the end of the day, she goes, I just want you and I want more time. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, but, you know, so. Yeah.
I think in our culture, a lot of times, like what you said earlier, I can't wait to have more money so I can spend more time with my family.
Right.
You know, it's like, wait, no. Right. Like there's a podcast that is coming out next week. And in the intro, we're talking about perspective, and it was with an NFL player named Tony Hills. Yeah. And we were talking about perspective. And I mentioned something. I said, my daughter's 2 right now. And it's been one of those financial years 2, with only, she's 2. Right, and no, I have a 2-year-old and a 5-month-old. Yes, so I have 2 kids. Yeah. It hasn't been that fast. But although my son is now sitting up in a high chair and I'm like not ready for it. Right. But it's been one of those years where it's been like we're scaling everything that comes in, the family doesn't see. So it's been a hard financial year for the England family. Right. Good year for the businesses. It's just been one of those growth years, right? And I earlier this year I was just in this like stress funk of like, we need more cash flow, we need this. And then I have a newborn. And I remember saying to Tony, I was like, dude, you know what I'm going to miss? When my daughter's 18 or my daughter's 30, I'm going to wish I could go back to when I had absolutely no money in the bank account and she was 2 years old. Yep. Like I'm gonna wish that my bank account could bounce again on payroll day. Right. You know, like, and when you have that perspective, then it's like, my life's great. Right. I have a healthy 2-year-old. I have a 5-month-old. I'm going to spend time with them like now. Right. You know, and
that's a present for you and for them.
Correct. Right. And so for me, like that's when I've been learning this year and since then, like, since I've been learning this, like a lot of my health issues have started to go away. A lot of my stomach issues have gone away.
Dis-ease, right?
I had a upper endoscopy on Wednesday. They had to put me under, did a bunch of stomach biopsies and junk. And you know what they found?
Stress.
Nothing.
Right, exactly.
Just, nothing wrong with me. And I've had gut issues all year. Because in the past 2 weeks, I've started to hand off things that were kind of destroying me. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, I feel pretty good. Right. And I've been doing these prayer walks in the morning. So every day, like I wake up and I pray, like, you know, I'm a Christian. So I'm like, Lord, I need you to help me today. Help me focus on what's important. And then I'll just we'll just talk. Talk through like what's going on, what am I struggling with, and I take the dog. And so this morning we were out for a walk, and I was just praying. And it's amazing when you start, like for me, I just focus on the Lord. I'm like, Lord, I just need you. Yeah, I just need you to help me trust that you have this. Right. And then, you know, you just go.
And you realize you're not alone. A lot of us visionaries feel like it's all up to me. Right. And a lot of that's the hero complex or the hero's journey kind of a thing.
Right. And I think you're just like, I got to fix this. I got to make this happen. I got to prove to my wife that I'm the provider I know I am. You know,
all my employees I want to be a hero to my kids. And
I want all my employees to make 200 grand. You know, I want, and when.
So, but it's also a balance. So it's not, I literally made I don't know if it was a proclamation at Strategic Coach 22 years ago with my EO forum. And he had these 5 pillars, and one of them was money. And I'm like, I don't need money to be happy. And I proved that. And yet it's like, I know money would help. You know, money's a good thing. So that's where I'm starting to evolve to say I value money. I'm not desperate for it.
Yes.
And so that's been a big shift for me.
Yeah.
And then one other point on that, when I mentioned like the disease and whatnot, is when I first really realized I matter and unscatter the chatter and why I'm on this planet, it was to help people to know and act like they matter and to avoid the pain. I was working with these 2 healers out in the mountains of Colorado. This game changer. It was so clear to me. And one of the healers is a a lot of water, so very sensitive emotion can tap into it. And he's like, that is so beautiful. I'm so excited to be a part of it. One little change. Help people to know and act like they matter and to work through the pain. I'm like, damn it. And my family, we would just avoid, I'm not sad. I've got a great life. And that's a nice coping mechanism.
Yeah.
But not
Denial.
only was not only shoving down shame and depression and sadness and anger, I was also shoving down some of the joy and the love and the trust and the peace. And so sometimes people, because a lot of my tools start with, any frustrations or dreads. Like, why do you lead with that? Well, because I want to tap into and if there isn't any, that's okay. But it's, I'm kind of dreading the rush hour on the way home. Okay, it's early. I have nowhere to be. I put the top down. It's sunny out. It's like, okay, but that might have been a dread in my head to say, oh, I got to get out of here by 3:00. And so it's just fascinating that the ego is looking to solve problems and keep you safe, but then that keeps us in a bottle. And so to be able to spend some time, whatever it is, just to admit, and that's part of the Visionary Forum, hopefully with our spouses, where we can be open and honest, not play the victim, but when we got locked down a couple years ago, walking around the park with my wife, and I'm like, we are screwed. And she's like, okay, well, we'll be good. And so, but she didn't try to solve my issues, but, so how does that make you feel? And that's a lot of the emotions, because like a failure, shame, I didn't save more money. Is there a God? Because how come we're getting locked down and we're not allowed to spend holidays with our family? That's a whole nother topic.
Well, we'll talk about it.
But she created such a safe space, and I'm like, she's going to be with me regardless. And I think in the back of my mind, it's like, we might have to cut back, or what about this, or what about that? And she's like, we're going to be fine. And as David Hawkins talks about in one of my 3 favorite books, Letting Go, is that when we acknowledge an emotion and we accept it, so we sit through it to say, what does it mean to be sad? What does it mean to, and it's okay not be, I used to be sad that I was sad, or mad that I was mad, or shameful that I had shame. And yet, once I acknowledge it and accept it, I evolve to the next level of emotions, and the next level of consciousness. And then once we get to courage, then it becomes positive. So literally on that walk with my wife, after about an hour and a half, I'm like, we could do this. And what about this? And what about that? And I was supported by her, and I'm just so grateful for her and our marriage. And she's changed my life, So
as
anyways,
it should
through
be.
a lot of things.
And as it should be.
Right?
Yeah, that's the point of spouse, is to
Right.
be there. I mean, I had a similar experience, not in COVID, but before my wife were even married. And I knew she was the one for me. One of my best friends died suddenly in a car crash. And we were together. We just started dating. And after college, so we knew each other all through college. I was dating a different girl, then we broke up, and I'm like, screw women, I hate them all, never dating again. One of those things. And then a year later, I saw Anna again, which is my wife now. I'm like, she's a lot cuter than I remember her to be. This is, and our best friends were getting engaged. And so we were kind of like the third wheel of our best friends, and so we were forced to hang out all the time through college, but I was dating different girls, so I wasn't not even. And anyway, so we finally started dating. I was at her house for Christmas break. At this point, I was traveling on this evangelistic team. I played Irish music for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Traveling around the country to churches and did CDs and a bunch of other stuff. I was at her house for break, and one of the team members that we were traveling with, he was a dad of a son and a husband, and he died in a car crash on the way back from church by himself suddenly. And we got the call, and I mean, I just went into just a bout of depression and frustration, and my wife was just and she wasn't even my wife then, she was my girlfriend. We weren't even engaged yet. She walked through for those 2 weeks, the darkest I've ever been. She didn't leave my side at all. Didn't doubt, wait, is this the guy I want to be with? And I just remember thinking, if she's willing to walk through this with me, she's the one. And I bought a ring the week after.
That's awesome. Right.
And so, because I just knew in that moment,
True
she was
trust and love, and that's awesome. That's beautiful.
Yeah. And so it is, but and kind of this is a side note, but trust is earned, right? It's one of those things that she acted in a way that I'm like, man, if I don't know how else I can trust her more now. I was in my most vulnerable, tough-minded space, and she didn't even waver. Yeah.
Well, we have a conversation with our kids often. It's like, we're so glad you're trustworthy. And they both, in unison, say, well, we're so glad you trusted us. And we're like, which came first? And it's both, though.
Yeah, correct.
So, we trusted them, and we would talk about, okay, well, if you do that, just think about these things, and it's your choice. And then they kept making great decisions for them. And that is someone asked me when I came out with my book, do I have any heroes? And I don't know if I really do. And then I realized, and at the book launch we did, I toasted my mom, and my brothers and sisters were there. Brother and sister were there, and other people, and of course Cheryl. Again, she's a hero of mine, or I'm a hero of hers, both. And then, but it's Nick and Grace, our kids, because they're so trusting and supportive and want to help people, and they know who they are. It's like, it's amazing.
How's that feel as a parent?
So I just did a mountain retreat. We go to the mountain retreat. I just did it last week, and I was in what's called a sweat lodge. So here's where my ego's like, ooh, should I tell people what that is? And so it's just a chance to heal and connect. It's amazing. And my life flashed a little bit before my eyes that it's like, okay, because we talked a lot about, we don't know of anyone who didn't die, so not to be morbid, but it's like I kind of went through, if I was to pass, what would people say? And I went through this a long time ago when a family member passed away, and a whole bunch of people showed up, and I thought, what would people say about my life? And at that point, it'd be, he's fun, he's driven, he's successful. Okay, cool, that's all nice. But I'm like, there's got to be more. And that was a big change in my life. And so today, out on the mountain, a couple of weeks ago, it was like, I've already lived a full life. And I'm 61, which still shocks me. And yet I'm only half done. And so literally my wife and I were calling it bonus time. So we've got 60 more years of living, and experiencing and joy, and not being driven by either fear or making more money or helping our kids. So yeah, I mean, I feel like that is the greatest success. Not how much money I've made, or definitely people I've impacted, but a safe, trusted space for my kids.